So just sort of dovetailing off some of the conversations, I would love, given that you've laid the gauntlet down, 50% of your spend automated by 2016 in your new leadership role, I would love for you to talk about, kind of the doubling down on programmatic and the parallel paths of the operational, drive for efficiency that automation brings, economies, et cetera, but then also the delivery side of it, right? That's actually the activation of the media and delivering better performing media using data insights and having data-driven placement, right? Because, they are a parallel path right now,
right.
But in listening to a lot of the dialogue, I've sort of come to realize that sometimes they're divergent and not as convergent as you would think they would be.
That's very true. And one of the things that we established early on is that the solution for automation is absolutely going to be made up of an ecosystem of key technology partners. There's not going to be any one solution, even though we sit through many sales presentations where they each declare that they are the only solution that we need. Exactly. So we believe that programmatic is at the core of what we're doing. Like, there's a programmatic sensibility. We used to call it a digital sensibility, but it's becoming even more of a programmatic sensibility at the core of how we think about automation. But we have a lot of really bulky steps in how we execute and how we go to the market right now that we just need to get rid of as soon as we can. And there's a lot of really interesting software solutions that are out in the marketplace right now that would never come up on the radar of this kind of group, but they're built specifically to take a lot of the paperwork that's being pushed between media owners and us in terms of how we even execute something as complex as the upfront marketplace.
Right. If you sort of look forward, I'm just kind of in this mindset where I want to look in the next 18 to 24 months because the industry's not moving as fast as we all wanted to or think it's going to realistically. What does the workflow look like? Like, where are the biggest, notable change points in your operational workflow on the agency side?
Yeah, we break it down into a couple of big chunks. So there's the planning process that actually includes a briefing kind of kickoff. So getting back to Dee's point about strategy, kind of getting strategy more organized, setting a measurement agenda, and also understanding just from a strategic perspective, what target are we talking about and what actions do we need them to take. So that's one chunk. Then there's the planning part. And in the past, what we've done is media agencies is we've produced 72-page paper media plans, maybe in PowerPoint, but paper media plans that we painstakingly take our clients through, and then we come back with the digital media plan that's after that. That's another 128 pages. So we really want to get to the place where media planning becomes a media blueprint, where it looks and feels and operates a lot like a dashboard. And then we finish writing the media plan when we get to the buy process, and that's where you actually go into the marketplace with all channels, and you start to see what's performing well and what isn't performing well on your long-term and your short-term metrics. And then you start to optimize the buy in the moment, so fire and forget goes away. And then you have the proof that it performed, and then you have the book, bill, pay system, which is really, kind of the thing that, when you get to that point, everybody's like, well, I'll help you with automation, but not that.
90 days, right?
That's right.
So I'm curious, do you see that in 18 to 24 months, we're still going to have on the planning side channel experts? Like, are we going to, we were talking about Aaron earlier, are we going to have a mobile person or,
Yeah, we've moved to fully integrated teams now. We do have moments, though, because there are still clients who are like, wheel in your mobile expert. And we're like, okay.
Jazz hands?
Yeah, jazz hands. Because we find it far more powerful to having channel experts sitting next to each other so that we're creating, the sum of the parts creates a fully integrated investment team.
But that's a Herculean task to get everybody, because like this gets to the comment, was it Mark from the last panel, and this is an observation I made as well, is that this is as much about change management than it is anything else, or automation or anything,
right? Big time. We're totally overlooking the human part of it.
I mean, how do you get an organization to pivot, set a course, change course, and then go at it full on? Like, how do you?
Yeah, one of the hardest things that Matt had to do was he had to move out people who were getting in the way of that. And sometimes that's hard because they're people that you value in really specific and clear ways. But if they're really holding the organization back, you have to consider, how valuable are they, given where we see everything going. And if we know now that, if we can start to apply data at the right places, at the right times in a planning and buying process, we can start to talk to our client about business outcomes, not just cheaper media. Like, we have to go there. It's almost malpractice not to.
So given that those of us are all of legal drinking age in the room, we probably are slightly beyond that. We sort of all, we have this, stereotype of the junior freshly minted media buyer, right? That
right.
You've got to buy the Nike IDs and APs, right? So that being said, that ingestion of fresh blood that's coming into the pipe, which is the constancy of media and we will have forever, right? What is that skill set or that resume coming out of college, or what's that degree look like? Where your interests are going to lie from a recruitment perspective, and how's that changed as a result of how we're shifting as an industry?
Yeah, we're starting to profile more like you would a stock or portfolio, so financial portfolio management kind of mindset. We're hiring far more data scientists, far more math people, people with some technology backgrounds.
Do we have enough talent inflowing though to the industry?
No, we don't, and it's a problem everywhere. We're hoping that automation will take some of the pressure off of that, so that we have systems that can help bring it along, so to a certain point. Yeah. But you always have to have the human judgment placed on top of anything that machinery tells us, and that's a piece where we really do have a problem from a talent perspective, and it will be a big battle for all of us to try to capture that talent.
So we've talked about the business challenges, et cetera, but what are you most excited about? When we're back here next year, what flag are you be waving of success besides getting closer to that 50% line? But
yeah,
what's the most exciting thing for you?
I've waited a long time to see this kind of shift in the industry. And so what I'm most excited about is having media partners show up at the table with us to start to wrestle this beast to the ground. And so I think the result of the relationships that we have with certain media companies are going to be incredibly rewarding over the next 12 months.
That's great. Thank you.